Hi, friends. Dr. Nancy Trimbley here, putting the power and knowledge of your health back in your hands. This is going to be a therapy session for me, and I apologize at the get-go. I need to vent, and who else better to vent to than you guys? Recently, I was in an adult conversation, and somebody called me an anti-vaxxer. This person's an intelligent person. They did say it with a little bit of bite to it, and when they said it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, you labeled me. You called me a name. You took my whole life experience, my education, my professional experience, and you boiled it down to a label. I have a little bit of a problem with that. I haven't been called a name to my face anyway since probably fifth grade when Janice McDermott said to me, "You think you're hot S on a silver platter, and you're really just cold diarrhea on a paper plate." Now, something like that shouldn't bother a person, but I guess it did because I still remember it to this day. So somebody called me an anti-vaxxer, and like I said, it is honestly, it's a weirdly ignorant thing to do to take a whole concept like that and boil it down to one pejorative. Um, and um, and if you want to call me anything, and this would be accurate, is I support your health freedom. I support my health freedom. I support anybody's health freedom. Whatever it is you believe is right for you, that's what I support. Um, and there is a complexity to this topic, and let me share with you my personal experience. I have been in a room with a mom with her 12-year-old son, and mom is crying because she remembers the day when that boy was 18 months old. Actually, she remembers the day after when she took her son back to the pediatrician because the day before he had gotten his 18-month shots. Before that, he was learning words, he was walking, he was laughing, making eye contact. Then, after his vaccinations, he started screaming. And the next day, and from there on out, he never spoke a word again. He wouldn't make eye contact and he wouldn't smile. And the pediatrician told her it was all in her imagination, that there's no way that that 18-month MMR shot could have created that. I believe her. And that's not the first time that I had heard that story, or it wasn't the last time. So is there something in that MMR shot? Is there something in vaccines that some people are sensitive to? I don't know, but what I want to hear is I want there to be an outcry, people saying, why? What is it? What's going on? It might have nothing to do with the 18-month vaccination, or it might be part of a combination of things. I don't know, but the problem I've had for decades is nobody is asking why. And anybody that asks why, their reputation is smeared, their research is discounted. They lose their jobs, they lose their tenure wherever they happen to be a professor. So there's that. Um, then there's this little piece of information. This is another mom who talked to me about her boy when he was doing well in school, and all of a sudden he was not, and he wasn't able to learn. And this happened at an early age. And what she finally discovered after doing her own research, because none of her doctors would help her, is that she and her husband carry a genetic defect. They have the MTHFR defect, meaning that although she and her husband do not exhibit the signs and the of the defect itself, they are genetic carriers for it. So they have a 25% chance of creating a child that will exhibit the signs of this MTHFR defect. And what happens with that is it's an inability to break down, they don't have an enzyme to break down one of the components of a vaccine. And it results in learning disabilities. And it took her years to figure this out. It took her 3 times more years to help her son. So there's that. So am I an anti-vaxxer? No, but why aren't we doing a simple blood test on every single child before we give them 75 inoculations before they're 5 years old? And I don't know the real number. It's probably more than that. Then there's this latest mass global inoculation that occurred. And when I first heard about this messenger RNA business with my genetic background in my undergrad and cell biology, I'm like, whoa, what? You're going to do what? You're going to put a piece of protein on a messenger molecule that's going to go into the cells of people and tell their bodies, tell each cell in the body to create this protein. Are you kidding me? And then you don't know how to make it stop doing that. You're just assuming it's going to stop. Are you joking me? Are you out of your gourd? And what turned out to happen was the protein that our body was producing from that mRNA mass inoculation is exactly the protein, the spike protein that was creating the problems in those affected. What? Like at the get-go, when I first heard about this, it was the fall of 2020. I was thinking people were insane to even consider doing this. And I talked to some healthcare professionals, they're all over it. I'm like, were you absent that day that you learned about messenger RNA? What is going on? Where is your brain? I don't have a religious quarrel with that. I don't have a like people are allergic to it. I don't have a quarrel with that. I have a biological quarrel with that. I have a reasonable suspicion to believe that that was going to create problems. Does that make me an anti-vaxxer? No, I'm just thinking. I'm just a thinking person. So there's that. Then there's the shingle shot. More people have shingles now than ever in history. When I learned about shingles when I was in school in the 90s, it was only a disease or syndrome that people got who were immunocompromised or near the end of life. It was not normal for a healthy person to get that. Shingles is the same virus as chickenpox. So the shingles vaccine circles back to the chickenpox vaccine, which was started in children about the year 2000. Before that, when this shingle shot was first coming out, I said to all the moms around me, this is not going to be good. I don't know how it's not going to be good, but this is not going to be good. And really, this was a convenience vaccine. So you didn't have to take a few days off of work when your kid got chickenpox. Meanwhile, chickenpox is one of those childhood illnesses like measles, mumps, chickenpox, only children get. And some people, some immuno researchers and immunology specialists believe it's like a rite of passage for your immune system, that it sets your immune system up to be stronger. So anyway, that's a side point. So this chickenpox vaccine comes out. Right before it came out, there was a researcher in California that studied a small population, and he believed, based on his research, that what would happen after the chickenpox vaccine came out and given to children is that adults would get more cases of shingles. This is why. When a small person, a child, is walking around before they show symptoms of chickenpox, they are shedding virus into the air. And what this does for the adults that had chickenpox when they were kids, it gives them like a booster. They encounter that virus again, their immune system says, oh, I remember this one. I'm going to create a few more antibodies. So that protected them from adult shingles. So now we introduce the chickenpox shot. Children are no longer walking around shedding virus. Adults don't get the booster. They get the shingles. They don't get the booster from the children. This is like a beautifully orchestrated God thing. So this researcher wanted to publish his research before the shingle shot came out. Guess what happened to him? His reputation was smeared. His research was vilified. He lost his job. It took him 18 years to finally publish his research. All the while, he lost his professional life. In 2018, his research was published. Does it get any notoriety? No. They just continue to push the shingles shot every year and push the chickenpox shot. What? What? Why do we let them make us be sick? I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am just a thinking, intelligent person. Thank you for letting me vent. Then there's the hepatitis B shot. Hepatitis B. When I was first in practice in the 90s in Indiana, hepatitis B was a mandatory vaccination to be given to infants before they even left the hospital after birth. It's given within hours of birth. Until an Indiana senator had two grandchildren that both were autistic. And he found that they had, I think, maybe the MTHFR defect. I'm not exactly sure on that. Don't test me or fact check me on that. But he was able to reverse that mandatory Indiana statute. But if you don't tell the hospital staff directly and watch your baby at every moment, they will automatically get the hepatitis B shot. Now, why is this so bad? Oh, maybe it's a fatal disease for infants. No, hepatitis B is disease that's gotten from dirty needles and IV drug use and unsafe sex practices. Yes, I said that. Why are our infants, why would our infants be in jeopardy of dirty IV drug needles and unprotected sex practices? What the heck? Are you kidding me? Why are infants getting this? And could this be contributing to the multiplication of autism cases in the United States? I don't know. But why aren't we saying, why are we seeing um, escalating cases of mental and emotional disability, escalating cases of autoimmune disorders in adults, chronic disease off the charts? And we're not asking why? I have a problem with that. So if somebody chooses to not have their child vaccinated, for whatever reason, I support them in that, or themselves. I support them in that because that's their health freedom. I support your health freedom. There's a problem with the conventional medical system. There's a problem with big pharma being too much in our lives. There's a problem with mandates that force people to either take drugs or give drugs to their children. I have a problem with that. I don't know if I feel any better, but I did vent. So I appreciate you taking the time with me today. If you have any of your own stories to tell, please put it in the comments below. And hopefully I feel better later. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.